right, so this is actually just a like a test. It's 3:30 and I can't sleep, so I'm just testing this and I pull up this video, see what he's got to say, and then I'll add some things, just to see how this comes out. My first time trying this new app.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode right here on V City. My name is Peter Ojum, and today I want to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial, but I think it's worth talking about. And honestly, I've been thinking about it for a couple years. I've been reading and trying to come to an understanding as to why African Americans and Africans have this kind of animosity. There's some sort of negative vibe going on between those two sides.
Well, let me just say, do I agree with him? Yes and no, because, people, there's always people out there that are just gonna dislike people for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And there's people that's just gonna dislike people for on just pure sheer ignorance. So, do I believe that that's the basis to start this conversation as if is one rooted issue and stuff like that? No, not really. I do think that the quote unquote mainland, quote unquote Africans look at the quote unquote blacks over here, with the disdainful eye, and look down upon the quote unquote blacks here because of how they're portrayed and how they allow it, how we allow ourselves to be portrayed abroad, and also in this country of America, So do I feel like just Africans feel that way about the quote unquote blacks here? No, I think other quote unquote races feel the same way as well. They, or at least look at us in that same light. Because these are, when you peel back a little bit, these are different cultures looking at a cultureless people, and then they're sitting there pointing and saying, hey, that's crazy, like that we will never allow that over here, because they have their own cultures that dictates different views and values, as opposed to over here there's no culture, and then the culture that the people would like you to believe is a culture is a false construct set up to keep the quote unquote black people here in the same domain, just spinning their wheels over and over again, not achieving anything, because the quote unquote culture that they will have you to believe it helps bring apart the demise of said people. So honestly, like I said, this is just a test, and it's late, and I actually have this book that I'm trying to finish reading, which is called The 13th Tribe, The Khazar Empire and Its Heritage by Arthur Koestler. And I'm roughly halfway through. It's very interesting and informative. Very briefly, I'll read the back. The book, it says this book traces the history of the ancient Khazar Empire, a major but almost forgotten power in Eastern Europe, which in the Dark Ages became converted to Judaism. Khazaria was finally wiped out by the forces of Genghis Khan, but evidence indicates that the Khazars themselves migrated to Poland and formed the cradle of Western Jewry. To the general reader of the Khazars, who flourished from the 7th to 11th century, may seem infinitely remote today. Yet they have a close and unexpected bearing on our world, which emerges as Koestler recounts the fascinating history of the ancient Khazar Empire. At about the time that Charlemagne was emperor in the West, the Khazars' sway extended from the Black Sea to the Caspian, from the Caucasus to the Volga, and they were instrumental in stopping the Muslim onslaught against Byzantium, the eastern jaw of the gigantic pincer movement that in the west swept across northern Africa and into Spain. So pretty much in a nutshell, this book is pretty much detailing the history of the Khazar peoples who most people today don't know about. And according to this book and other pieces that I've read, those people weren't exactly wiped out. They actually migrated, as I stated already, to Poland and more into Europe, and they became the quote unquote, Jew, the quote unquote Caucasian Jews that we think of today. So in essence, what this book is pretty much getting at, which I think it's getting at, is that the Jews today are false, by stating that they originate from Israel and all that, because allegedly they are from the doorstep of the Caucasus Mountains and such forth. Like I said, the book is halfway through. It's a lot of excerpts from different travelers and traders throughout the I believe it's the 9th to 11th century, or maybe it's 7th to 11th century. Again, just detailing, their interactions with the people in the Khazar Empire, how it came forth and how they lived and stuff like that. So again, it's very informative, but like I said, it's a lot of excerpts. So, it's not like just a quick, easy read. So, and I also like to take my time on certain books, especially one like this. So, yeah, I digress. So I'm going to wrap this one up, see how this sounds. Maybe I'll post it to YouTube and such forth and let you guys hear it. And if I do, please let me know what you think about, just that little dialogue. Well, that's not even dialogue, that little monologue. Sorry, I'm exhausted. That little monologue that I had in the beginning.